Alright, so yeah, I was just hooking up this thing. So if I look at my capture here. So like this week I was kind of focusing on performance. And so I wanted a way to like measure FPS and like while it's running on the Ouya, like be able to turn things off and on. And then see how that affects your FPS counter. So I'm setting up this thing. It's like a custom editor panel with a tree view that would show the same thing that's in the hierarchy. And that'll show in here. And then it's got like a client-server architecture thing so that it can send the scenes across to your editor window, and then you'll be able to select between your different Android devices that are connected, and then you'll be able to see changes. And then to make it work, you just like drag and drop something to the scene, and that would connect everything. Who's shaving what? Shaving what?
Yeah, I was wondering whether you'd catch that and get completely thrown. What? I'm running a what now? How to derail a perfectly sensible conversation. Yeah, yak shaving. It's the old you know, rabbit hole kind of metaphor. I can't remember what the original thing was. It's something like I think it's Ren and Stimpy. I was doing A, but to do A I needed B. Then to do B I needed C, and for that I needed D. And well, to cut a long story, I ended up shaving this yak. And it's like, it's yak shaving.
It all comes down to shaving the yak. I get it.
There's a brilliant A.A. Milne poem, The Old Sailor. Google it, which is very cute. But yak shaving. Sorry, I apologise for derailing this very important, probably recording conversation.
Well, I'm going to edit it afterwards. It hasn't really started yet.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah, the scene hierarchy will be right over here. And then you just click on the client that's connected, and then you'll see its hierarchy. And then I think you'd click on the tree view items to select them, and then you'll just have a on-off toggle. And then you can see how it impacts performance. Like, for us, we've got particle systems and burners and all kinds of stuff that, you know, you uncheck one thing and wow, I just saved 10 FPS. So it'll be like that kind of tool. Without, like, taking 20 minutes to rebuild everything, you know. Well, okay. Well, this is April 1st, April Fool's Day for the Ouya support hangout.
Aw, crap. It's April Fool's. Tim's gonna screw us. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, you thought there was gonna be a contest or a hangout? You're just gonna watch me play Gravy now. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody got the...
Today is, guess what? Nintendo just bought out the Ouya.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, send all your April Fool's links in the chat. I saw the one on YouTube last night. It said, you uploaded your 87th video, and we're going to be shutting down uploads. And all this. I'm like,
yeah.
what?
I saw that one. It's like, now they have a new one. It's like you can buy a collection of all the videos on YouTube. Like you can go on YouTube and buy like an entire collection. Oh my god.
Okay, so you guys... There we go. Okay, so last week I added a new example. It's called the Use Show Unity Input Scene. And it has some new GUI stuff.
Oh, no.
If I resize this to be readable. Ah, sometimes it does that. There we go. Okay, so do I have a controller plugged in? Yes. Okay, so there's this new example, and to turn on the new input stuff, and I made a video for this too. There's a couple, if you see the video channel, there's like 4 new videos maybe.
Yay for new videos.
Yep. So there's the intro to the Unity package 1018. There's like an intro on dependencies, like how to set up your platform, Android SDK thing. And then there's one about this new input stuff. And in the new input stuff, we still have the Ouya game object. And then to turn on the new thing, you just uncheck use legacy input. Then
It doesn't work. No.
well, it works in the editor.
Yeah, no, it works.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's got like a GUI selection controller here. So you can select which controller you want to test. The top here, it shows supporting up to 8 controllers. So on Windows, it only detects up to 4 controllers in the Unity editor, because Unity is built on X input. And then for your selected controller, it detects 10 axes and 20 button states. And on the Ouya, I plugged in 4 Ouya controllers and 4 Xbox controllers, and it detected all 8. So
Where did
that
my
was
pen
cool.
go?
And I need to reopen Unity here.
I think I found a much easier way of doing this. Not what you're talking about. I'm talking about my software assignment. God, it sucks.
That's the fun part.
I hate software. God.
There we go. All right, so here we go. So in the editor, everything's working good. I'm plugged in, got an Xbox controller plugged in, so I only have the mapping set up for an Ouya controller right now, but it's got all the button highlighting, and it's kind of a debugging tool, because as I hit, if you don't see it over here, as I hit buttons, you can see, oh, well, D-pad up on an Xbox controller maps to axis 7. For D-pad up and down. Guess it's a single axis for the Y. Left and right to axis 6. And then you can hit the sticks, and the sticks are these axes. Triggers are considered an axis, and buttons are buttons. But you'll notice each controller is a little bit different. So on the Ouya, the D-pad are buttons. And I think well, I'll just run it on the Ouya and I'll find out. So here we go. So let's build and run on the Ouya. I've been playing a lot on the Ouya now that the store's open. How many people have seen the new Lemmings game? Lemmings Rocket, or you're like a teddy bear strapped to a rocket, and you frequently get impaled, and you catch on fire. And
How far did you get in that?
enough that I'm able to. I bought like a few booster rockets
Oh, okay.
with my 400 coins. I'm
You
surprised
got
it's in
past the
this.
spikes.
Oh yeah, way past. I played the farther you get, the faster your rocket starts going. So,
Oh, okay, right. Cool.
I was surprised to see it in the sandbox area. It was like, I want to buy it now. Oh, of course. I'm like hitting accesses. Where's the access? All right, so currently when you run on the Ouya, oh, You know what? Maybe I should show you my Ouya. There we go. Okay, so here's the Ouya with an Ouya controller. And it detects so this is using the native input.get button or get key code because the new stuff passes it. And I'll show you the code in a second here. So the triggers actually show as buttons, which is cool. Then you have your bumpers, which are buttons. Your D-pad, which is buttons.
Hang on, the triggers, the analog triggers are showing as buttons. Are they also showing as axes as well?
Well, I can't tell because the axis data isn't showing up. So I did submit a bug report for Unity with a repro project and a video on everything. And
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for them to respond.
I was wondering whether you'd gotten anywhere with that, because I decompiled the Unity player class file, and it rather looked like there was no public on whatever it's called, on generic input method. So I was surprised that it allowed you to make a call like that. I was like, that's strange. So
so maybe it's just they didn't make it public, and then that's all it needs, because that would be pretty sweet.
I have no idea. But my concern would be, are they going to release an update to the Unity player for the 3.x series, or will it be just basically,
no way.
we're doing
it's just you just have to upgrade to 4. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Are you joking? That's my standard sentence for today.
I'm not joking there. There are no updates ever coming on the 3.x branch. It is
so basically
over.
if this is a broken thing rather than a there's some kludgy way around it type of thing, then that's it. This the input system, the analog input system, won't work for 3.x series Unity.
Right. But that doesn't mean that we can't use the JNI thing and have our own input manager. But the built-in one for 3.x is a no-go for accesses so far, unless they tell me, oh, no, just call this super-duper reflection thing.
We can but hope. So, how long has it been, and how long do they usually take to reply to that sort of thing? Are they likely to reply?
Well, sometimes they respond in the same day, but I mean, it's just GDC week last week and Easter weekend, and they're probably all still hungover,
Okay, thanks for the feedback. I was like, is that going to happen, or is that not going to happen?
Yeah.
So.
Well, when there's a video and a repro project and it's isolated like this, it kind of increases the chances. Another thing that increases is if you email support and you say you really want this, and if they get 100 emails, then that's something that they might consider.
Right. Well, we know what we need to do.
Yeah.
Just tell us what we need to send. Send us a template, and we'll just insert your name here, insert your signature here.
I'll give them a couple days before I turn on the nag factor.
I think we can write a quick Perl script for that.
That's true. Well, even done it. So I had to look at the Java player thing. I had been using Eclipse to look at the Java part, and of course it's not open right now. Let's see. Maybe I was using a different project.
Rupert!
Never mind.
Hey, Tim, you might have a
C++ mode. It might be that. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying to Tim that I have a miniature bug for him.
A tiny bug?
A tiny bug. I'm using an Xbox 360 USB, controller.
Okay.
And I have a button mapped to the U, but as far as I know, the U is supposed to be on the left-hand side, one of the left-hand side buttons, right? Left-hand side, in relation to the buttons, I guess.
Yeah, it's where the A button is on the Xbox 360 controller.
You mean the X?
Yeah, so
I
on
guess
360 it's X, on Ouya it's
Yeah.
a U.
Okay, right. So currently it's mapped to the B button on the
Oh.
Xbox controller, so the complete opposite. So I didn't change my mapping. I just figured that,
Okay.
yeah, it was just on the Unity editor side.
All right. Well, I did flip it kind of on purpose for the A button because
Okay.
if you look at them side by side, the A button is where the O is, and the B button is where the A is. And
Right,
so
right.
I was trying to simulate the same exact layout as because it's a virtual controller.
Right. Gotcha.
But if it's swapped, we can definitely fix that mapping.
Yeah, it's the U and the A that's swapped.
Yeah. It's probably supposed to swap the O and the A. That makes sense. Okay. Well, we'll take a look at that in a minute here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd mention it.
Okay. So U, A, O, and Y. That's all good there.
Okay.
I do have a Xbox receiver I can plug in. Oh, okay. So some other stuff that's supported is detecting devices like after you've already started your game, because I wasn't sure if that was going to work with the Unity API. Hey.
There's an APK for you. Oops.
After I got the most recent update, now it seems like now you just push the system button one time and it exits. Where I had update 35 and I had to double press it. Now it's one. Okay, but now you see controller 1 is at Ouya, and then I have 4 Xbox things showing up as receiver. And of course, it's not distinguishing between, like, the whole point here is that you can select the joystick and then test the input, but no matter, it's not respecting the controller number, so it detects all the things. So even if I hit joystick 2 or joystick 1, they are detected, so they'll highlight. So we'll fix that soon. Hey, that's cool. So when I hit on the Xbox 360 controller, when I hit the Y, that's actually maps to a different button. But of course, like, every controller is going to have a different mapping.
Right.
It's almost like they should have an open standard. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so even though I'm using the axes for a 360 controller, not an Ouya controller, they're still not detected, which is what Rupert was probably talking about. Because maybe it's private, not public, and not accepting the override. But he did mention that he knows disassembler stuff. So Rupert, have you ever disassembled something and then injected, like, just flip it from private to public? Can you do something like that to a jar file?
Thinking. I'll have a think about that, and I might have to get back to you in a sec. You used to be able to. It came down to whether you could decompile the enough of the Java to be able to get it to compile again. Because usually there's some rubbish in there that you can't get out. But if it were as simple as just a private public flip, I think you usually get around, assuming it's, well, not private, but if it's, you can usually get around some of that stuff with reflection. So, I don't know.
Okay, so I
It's
just
likely
had
not
it,
as simple as that.
I just had an idea that might make it work for 3.x. Assuming that they fix their jar file, and if this was totally just on the Java side, this is like an intro to Unity hacking now, I guess. So,
Woohoo! Hang on, wait till I leave that applause.
Yay!
Yeah.
Who did that? You are the freaking man.
Okay.
Definitely Rupert.
Alright, so you go to your install folder. So 357, editor, and then there's data and playback engines. And this is where you find all the play engines for the different platforms. So like recently I had a bug in Linux, and so I replaced the Linux standalone player. And I just had to change it here versus changing something in the editor. Okay. So let's look at one of these guys. Oh, right. The ones I replaced are in Unity 4, and that's when they added Linux support. So there isn't actually Linux support in 357. Okay, well, the Android player. So there's a folder for the development when you check the development build, and then there's a checkbox for when it's not checked. And so it'll build this stuff. And this should look familiar, right? This looks a lot like, if we look at our Ouya folder. Okay, so in 1018, right? In your assets folder, you have a plugins folder and Android. And this is kind of when you build stuff, if you haven't overridden these things, this is the defaults that it will use. So here's the manifest default. And this looks a little bit different because I did it differently. But this is definitely cool, see? So they've got like a separate video player activity that they use to, when you're doing, have you guys done media in your Android builds yet? So that, there's a kind of a simple API for playing movies. But you'll notice like it doesn't play the movie inside your player, it plays it in a separate activity, and you don't have a lot of control over you don't have any control over like the timeline or the different, you can't customize the controls, it's just playing it like a default video player.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a native activity and a Unity player activity and a proxy activity. Forward native events to Dalvik. So in our version, we've just got our main application. Here we go. So ours is kind of slimmed down, and I stuck the Unity player inside of our main layout versus doing this thing. But all this stuff is customizable. So you start with a base and you can jump into Android programming and change anything you want to. It's all open source. Okay. Without going too specific into each change, anyways, they've got all these things here, and one of the things is in these live things. in the Java thing, I need a hint from the player here, or from the editor.
The Java thing will be way under source, probably, won't it?
Yeah, well, I'll check my Java JDK tab here. Alright. Actually, Ouya. Or sorry, Unity. Jeez. What am I saying? Here we go. Playback engines, Android player, bin, classes, jar. Bin. So if we go in here, this is where the Unity classes are defined. And if we want, if they could make a fix to this jar file to make that on generic move public, and then they would just have to provide a different jar file without actually having to release a whole 357 or 358 version. So that might be something they're more willing to do. And jar files are just zip files, so you can just extract it and then look at the good stuff. So, oh look, they used fmod, so that's cool. And I saw this earlier. They must use like obfuscation.
Yeah. But you can. Are you familiar with using JAD?
No.
Okay, so if you just look for JAD, Java decompiler, it's actually best run on Windows. If I think it's still the case. Extract the class file to, or extract your jar file to a directory. Get to the command line, do JAD -H. It'll give you a load of command line options. You probably want -R and a few other bits and pieces. Give it a directory to output to, and it'll just build you the source to the entire thing. It will probably throw errors because there are certain bytecodes. There are things that you can do with an obfuscator, things that JAD don't deal with. In other words, there are those three things, which will basically cause JAD to have difficulties and it won't be able to decompile. If that happens, you probably can't recompile it into a thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The short version of how to do JAD.
Right. So if you want to be ultra hardcore...
Cat. Yeah, if you want to be ultra hardcore, take apart your player, or have a cat.
So that would be these files where it would be probably, since it's something in one of these Unity player class files. All right, so we could take this another level.
Yeah, if you just extract the whole thing. Do I know the URL for JAD? Hang on.
Okay. I don't want to play around too much with that, but
no worries.
Not at least not since I haven't used it before. But we can play around with another tool called grep. Okay, so now I have to know what I'm looking for. So,
on generic motion event.
Yeah, on generic motion event. So that kind of narrows it down. Yeah, there you go. Hey, do you see me waving?
class. Interesting.
You know, U for Unity. It's got to be. All right. So now that you know it's these two files. Let's see what they look like. It's going to be binary gunk, but...
Hey, I'm done my assignment. Now time for game programming.
Here we go. So if we only knew if paragraph mark meant public or private, you could say, oh, copy that guy and put him there. But it's not that easy. You have to decompile it and then recompile it and whatever. So for the hardcore, you run
I'll
with
go and have
where
another
it is
look.
right here. Yeah.
I'll go and have another look. It makes me worried now that I may have made a mistake in my stating that it wasn't didn't do that, but I thought it didn't. Oh well, I could be wrong. Tim, you're kicking my ass.
Okay, so the other way around it is that when I talk to Unity and they find the bug and they say, oh, here it is for 4.2, then I can install 4.2 and I can just take that class file, because it probably, the Java classes might not have changed, and then, maybe we could just apply the alternate class file in our updates too. So that's another way to do it. And then it would still work with 357 maybe. Or they do a build for 357 and I get that jar file and include that.
Didn't you once say something about there being a source access or source library? Yeah, source access to the Unity stuff.
Yeah, it's just one low payment of 100 grand. It's per title.
One easy payment of 100 grand.
Yeah, and I just throw in the per title right there, just real subtle.
Yeah.
And if you buy now, we'll throw in these great extras.
Right. Well, it also gives you unlimited Unity licenses, so that's a deal.
Okay.
Because you have to figure. Okay. So for 100 grand, right? Each developer is costing you, for pro everything is about 5 grand, right? So if you have more than 20 developers, you might as well just buy the source. And then you can fix such things as whatever. And then you just submit patches to Unity or whatever.
This is probably going to sound really weird, Tim, but have you tried feeding the motion events that you were trying to feed to the onGeneric motion event? Could you try feeding them to onTouch event instead?
And just see what happens? Sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the source again, and it's like their on motion event basically calls. Sadly, it calls a.ontouch event. I don't know what a is yet, but in case it happened to be the same thing, a is the view apparently. Okay. You've got to love decompiled source code.
Actually, you know what would be even cooler? Just pass it to the on key up, on key down, because we know key events make it through.
Oh yeah, and then take them apart. Yeah, why not? Well, try the onTouch event thing, because it might be that Unity already knows to process touch events into the input system as motion events if they are motion events. No, Rupert is guessing his ass off.
Okay. So here we go. So then you pop over here. Apply your plugin. Compile the Java. If this works, it's pretty insane. Or the Ouya will just catch on fire.
Seems highly likely.
Yeah, I was gonna turn on gecko faces, but I just didn't have time. I'll do that next one.
Man, that ticking clock sound effect is just not long enough. Not long enough for a Unity compile to Android, that's for sure.
Hey, you know what? Like, Rupert's like a genius. It's working just fine.
I rule.
Yeah, look at that. Alright, so... Oh, even the
can tell
D-pad
that
are showing up.
What?
Okay, so D-pads are still buttons. Well, now I have to try, like, my other Xbox controller here. That's crazy.
Glad I could help.
Alright, so I have these buttons here, and basically I was setting up, like, tapping these buttons, and then just as a quick hack, just clicking the button will actually switch to the next joystick here. So, one of these guys. There we go. So that's working. So the Xbox access works just fine. Works just fine, and D-pad. Oh, no joy on the D-pad on the 360.
That's in editor or what?
On the Ouya itself.
Oh, okay.
But nobody needs a D-pad.
Yeah, guess what I've been fighting with for part of today? I have split controls mode on my game, and the buttons that are on the the Ouya for the right-hand player, I'm using the D-pad to be the left-hand player's buttons, but of course, the D-pad doesn't work. When he started with A there, I was kind of scared what he was going to say. Is it just me, or does anybody else want Mr. T to say April Fools? You know? Is it just, April Fools, fool? It would work well.
Well, that kind of works. It works well enough that we could patch it like that, and then just wait for Unity feedback to fix it for good.
I think that if they don't come up with that as the answer, then we'll just be embarrassed for the Unity people. They're not really trying hard enough.
Yeah. Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
They really ought to. Come on, they ought to, they've got access to the actual source and don't have to look at it and go, "What are they?" But yeah, on the in the Unity IDE, Axis 3 seems to be special. It's some sort of like mouse wheel kind of alternative input thing. I have to keep mapping around it. Is that,
Which controller?
I'm using a 360 controller because
so
I'm in the UK and still don't have my Ouya yet. Sad face.
What's that like?
Bastard, shut up. I want my fix back. Give me my fix back.
Okay. So got that guy selected. What button do I hit?
No, the in the Unity editor, Axis in the input manager .asset, or in the input manager dialog.
Gotcha.
The Axis 3 comes up. So if you go to, I don't know, any of the Joy 1 Axis 3, yeah?
Okay.
And then scroll it down, you've got it on third axis. If you make that dialog or that pane a little wider, you'll see it says third axis bracket joystick or scroll wheel or something like that, wacky. If you can change the size, yeah,
Wacky
joystick
tobacco.
and scroll.
I'm not getting
So-
the little. Come on, guy.
Helpful. Anyway, you can see it, and scroll wheel or something wacky like that.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Third
And-
axis and scroll wheel. Why? Why?
Yeah, so on the 360 with the raw Unity input,
Did you try the one that's like third axis and not scroll wheel? It's not. Jeez.
I was about to say, now I feel like a complete fool, but there is none! You are lying!
Yeah, no.
You liar. April Fools. I'm not falling for that. It's after midnight. After midnight. It's after midday. You're not allowed to make jokes after midday. Across time zones.
So is it the D-pad you're trying to get working?
No, well, so this was something I've worked around, but I wanted to know, is there a better workaround? I couldn't find one on Google, so I thought I'd ask Tim because he knows more than Google. And what it turns out doing is the two triggers. The left trigger passes negative third axis, and the right trigger passes positive third axis for some completely unknown reason.
Right.
But then, as I say, yeah, the D-pad, apparently that behaves completely differently on PC versus Mac, and I have no idea what it does on Ouya. So
Right.
it does.
Well, that's with that driver though, right? The Mac driver.
Is that it?
And we emailed that guy. Well,
Right.
I mean, first of all, the controller's coming up blank, right? So that's not cool. And then maybe when he finally responds, maybe we can fix some of the other issues you're having.
Okay. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
I was just checking because if it was one of those, I hold up my hands quite honestly and say, I'm not the Unity guru here, so I use these conversations to say, I've not been able to find an answer to this thing. Happen to know it, so that sounds like it's a no, but it didn't affect your stuff, which I was kind of surprised by. So I was like, okay.
So you're saying
Yeah.
like if I click here and I scroll, it'll fire it? Because
I have no
scroll
idea.
wheel, right?
It should be joystick one only for that one though, shouldn't it? So it
Yeah.
probably won't. But if there were a scroll thing, I don't know.
On it, yeah.
Anyway, I mentioned it because it threw me for 20 minutes while I was like, what the hell? Why is axis? What is it coming up as? I was trying to use right stick as being axes 3 and 4, so joystick 1, axis 3 and 4, but instead they were coming out as 4 and 5, and 3 was being changed when I was twiddling the triggers. I had to write a whole sort of test app just to figure out what the hell have my inputs gone? What's that? Snowmen were going all kind of crazy, and so yeah.
Yeah, it must be a Mac thing because I'm on PC and I'm using a 360, USB plugged-in controller or whatever, and yeah, I'm using the triggers and the D-pad and at least the left control stick, so everything's working fine.
And that's on Unity 3 or 4?
Oh, sorry, 4.
Unity 3 might be the difference. Don't know. Anyway.
All right, well, I'm going to leave that comment in there for at least like the next 10 updates.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, that saves so much time that we can switch to the next part, which is watching me play my new favorite game. Here, if I can figure out which controller is on, here we go. So you'll find.
Yeah, how's it all now that it's live? I mean,
It's cool. Okay, so here's another thing that I had to do. Because I had updated earlier than all the main people are going to update. I had build 35. So I had to go to manage and then system and then advanced and then push down and apps. And then switch over a couple times to the all, and then there's one that said Ouya launcher. There we go. And you go into the Ouya launcher, and I had to do the clear data option here because I had I couldn't update anymore. It was saying I had the latest when I checked for system updates. So If for some reason you go to the store right now and you see, oh, the store isn't, check back soon, whatever, just clear your data, and then after you do that,
All I did was expire the launcher token, and then I went back and it worked.
okay. And then you go here, you'll get the update, and then you go to the store, and you see the new stuff.
Ooh.
All right, so in the sandbox area, in this 1
Yeah,
through
tell
20,
us. Show us the sandbox thing. 1 through 20. Oh my goodness me. I see.
okay, check out Lemming Rampage 2. I like that one. It could be because of the difficulty, I'm not sure, but here. I'll launch it here.
Yeah, you've
Oh,
already
oh.
given away the way you you approach difficult games. You just like get them up in the editor, modify the code,
Pretty
move
much.
my position slightly to the right. There we go.
Yeah. I remember
Okay.
when he said that.
One thing, yeah, you just pause it, move to the good spot, and then unpause. Okay, so one thing about the sandbox is the mechanism to get games out of the sandbox is for liking them. So that next to the play button, there's this like button, and like the games you like, so that they get out of the sandbox stage.
What does the sandbox mean?
So I think all new games, and I'm not sure this is the official thing or anything, but
No,
new
it
games
is.
okay. New games
Yep.
go to the sandbox, and they have to be voted out of the sandbox to go into the regular section. So,
That's kind of weird.
well, it's kind of like Steam Greenlight, right? Except for it's
Yeah.
more
Except for,
active.
yeah.
Well, the idea is that most people that want. I read the interview with what's her face, and yeah, it's quite a nice idea. But apparently, at the moment, it doesn't have any genre filters. And there's a whole thread in the developer forum about this. But basically, because you don't have, you get your genre assigned by. Are these guys using that the path plugin thing?
Oh, see, and then
So
you get
much
impaled. My little bear's on fire.
So what exactly is the Hear Me category then?
Sorry.
Tim,
what
it
was that?
doesn't look like you've improved since the other day.
No, I was doing that on purpose. Yeah,
Oh.
to show you what a death looked like.
Uh,
I think somebody's trying to ask a question, but he's coming out really tinny.
Oh,
Perhaps
I was
asking the
wondering
IM.
what the Hear Me category is. Because
Something
there's
about
different categories, the sandbox and the... So this is a Hear Me category? What exactly is that?
I'll take a look at that in a second.
Okay.
I won't be alive very long.
Busy rocket launching a bear.
yeah.
If you want to download the game, I'll turn it on my Ouya. Also, Tim, if you check your Skype, the latest relapse build is there.
Okay, we'll do that next. I'll start it downloading. Let's see if I can use Skype and play at the same time.
Yeah, just trying to get a higher score.
See, the farther you go, you start to cruise.
Tim, have you downloaded Vector yet for Ouya?
Not yet.
I see
And
the
I ran out of gas.
players.
Okay, so sandbox.
I think he should blow up when he runs out of gas. Kaboom.
No,
Catch on fire. He should
So,
ride on the
what's-
ground screaming. He doesn't do any screaming.
When you're in sandbox, what does the 1 to 20 mean? Like 1 to 20 likes?
Oh, no. Okay. Well, actually, I thought it was pagination, but maybe it's not.
Yeah, I think it's pagination. Looks like it.
What?
Yeah, now I was just wondering what the Hear Me
64
is discovered.
But let's click on one and see how many likes it has. 0.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just pagination. But that would make sense actually, because why not just put these are the games that only have 1 like. These are the games that have 40 likes, 60,
Because
80.
it would, you just end up with the same positive feedback system that you kind of
Yeah.
have anyway at the top of the store.
Does he have
So
a?
how
Ouya
many
is
games
actually
are there on there?
awesome.
Okay, actually, maybe you guys can help me with this. I don't know how to play this game. Okay, so
Okay.
I think use the D-pad. There we
Sliding
go.
puzzle game, I assume.
All right, so I assume they're just getting in order.
And that's pretty weak.
It's the moving mechanism that I haven't quite perfected. I want to say just like take this one and move it here. But I think you have to go to the opposite side and push in the direction, and then I forget what I was doing. Okay, I'm done.
5 stars.
Okay, there is stalagmite update. And I can get up to 300 now.
Ooh, this game looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
STQA. No, not this. Not the one that Tim's playing. One that I just found on the Ouya store. Although this game is actually really fun.
All right, dead. Okay, I'm downloading your update to here. Oh, I have to accept your terms of service. Yeah,
I'm blaming the people who didn't get stuff to them.
there it goes. All right, what's the key? There's a search feature too I haven't used yet.
What exactly is the Hear Me category?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll go back to that one. Hear me is just this. So what does Cannibal, Save the Puppies, Evac, Dub Wars, and Deep Dungeons of Doom have related?
So I know Dub Wars is the game I'm working on. But I didn't know why I was in the Hear Me category. I mean, I guess they're all music-based games, but I know ours is a music-based game. It's all about firing music and stuff, but... Yeah. Also, I was just trying to figure out how to get my... Like, I've updated the Ouya to the newest version, and now I'm having some struggles getting the computer to connect with the Ouya. And I've been going through that process on
Yeah,
the...
I'll show you what that is.
Okay.
All right.
You just want to try the game first?
No. I find
Okay.
the unity.
So I was going through the document setup, and
Okay, so at the bottom of the panel or whatever, there's a check for plugin updates, and then it opens up this page. And then there's this. Right, there's this new ADB setup instructions. If you click on that, it walks you through the process.
I've been following through that.
Okay. There's one
And I've
step
got
I had
down
to do
to-
extra, which was I had to uninstall the Ouya driver, the existing one, in the device manager, and then it took the changes.
How do you do that on the Mac? Uninstall the drivers.
I haven't even made an attempt on that side. I go to the closest Mac guru I can find, and I beg them, how do I do it? I'm not leaving until you tell me. And then they usually say something like, well, did
I'm
you
going to
check
ask Google.
Backbreak Weekly? Did you check some of their Apple sites?
Okay, I'll check it out.
Okay, so I just got a RAR file.
That's the only thing that's actually even close. It's not that good.
Installs.
Okay, here we go. I'll kill the connection. Right when I clicked it, I didn't hear anything. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so you have different size.
Yeah, just go 720. It's the simplest.
I can actually switch it smaller than.
Yeah, I know. I need to take some of them out.
Okay.
And then I might just take that screen away, and then it's going to be all managed in the game.
Oh, look at the clouds thing. Alright, I want to show you guys some cooler stuff that I started playing with. After we go through this.
So if you go there over the vault and click E, then he'll actually like kind of do the parkour over it.
Yeah, where's your frame rate counter? Like FPS counter or something?
I haven't even put one in. I just use the one that's built into Unity, just the stats on the top. I know this is a build that I whipped up in 3 days though, because I've been really working on the GUI and all that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm in windowed mode or whatever, but it's like super choppy. But I'm also running 2 captures at the same time and a Hangout and a live thing, and it could be related. But I can jump, that's pretty cool. And your gun has, I like how the little reticule thing is a little bit dirty and semi-transparent. I think there's a Unity API you can call to hide the mouse, because I can accidentally click it outside the area.
Yeah. So, if you go all the way back, like all the way back to the beginning where you were, and you go, you see those things where you're jumping?
Okay.
If you click E, he'll vault over it.
Oh, sweet. Kind of like Gears of War, like hiding behind a thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Alright, so I was seeing like the clouds in your skybox, and that reminded me of a new thing that I was trying. Which is...
So yeah, that's basically what I got done so far. Next is networking, making sure everything's working.
Alright, we'll talk about the networking right after this. So I downloaded this new asset store thing called FX Maker. And like, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
What does it do?
Like it's got all these presets for particle effects.
What?
So, and I especially like the legacy trail of this guy, because it has like the 2 trail thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Alright, so it's got like 500 or more presets. It's like 75 megabytes of presets.
Have you tried any on the Ouya and see how they run?
Not yet. I want to make my little toggle thing so I can turn it off and on and see how it affects the performance.
Right.
But it does have this thing over here where it's like high quality and low quality.
What is this? Sorry, I apologize. I was just having a really important other conversation.
This is FX
Link us up.
editor.
Oh,
FX
okay,
Maker.
got it.
I was eyeing it, and then before the March Madness sale ended, I was like, oh, I have to get this. It looks too awesome.
That's the rope thing that got me out. It's like, oh, rope thing, excellent. I've written rope physics before, and it's really irritating to get right, and somebody's done all the work. Excellent.
But when I was playing Kevin's game, there's this preset for clouds that made me think of that. Let's see. Here we go, clouds.
Oh, Rupert, you missed the new relapse build.
I was watching. I saw all of that. Absolutely saw all of that. Yeah, no worries. Looking good. I love the. I know it's the little. For me, it's the little things, but the way the gun moves, you know, the way it bobs around and like swings to the side and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, what Tim said about the frame rate and everything, but once it's all, you know, polished up, it'll be like really smooth. And by the way, Kevin, don't feel bad about not spending money on this particle thing. I was going to get this, and then I found actually all the particle effects that these sorts of things do, you can do all of them for free yourself. So sorry, I'm a cheapskate, and you can just do all this stuff for free. So
Yeah. On the other side of the coin, though, is these are all optimized for mobile, and
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of time.
Aw.
Well, optimized for mobile, what does it really mean? I mean, it basically means, they've tested and made sure it works okay on that, got the numbers right and all those sorts of things. So, I can live with doing a few new build of Snowman Scuffle. It's got some particle effects in it. You can have a
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah, you can point and laugh shortly. But I have to admit, I'm now thinking, damn, I'm going to have to go back from the Ouya Unity Bridge input system back to Tim's Unity input system, because that's got the fastest input system now. There's no way.
Finally, I'm on
Yeah,
top until the next guy comes out with the faster thing.
Well, could we do it any faster than that? We possibly could. We possibly could.
Stay
I still
tuned for
think
next week's when we announce Rupert input system.
Yeah, well, I was writing that direct memory access one, but yeah, I think frankly just pumping the events from Android through to Unity is just going to be more than enough, isn't it? So hey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so it has this tornado mode. I kind of like. Okay, so this tool is like so awesome. So it has, not only does it have all these options, but you can slow it down or like see what your effect looks like when you fire it versus.
Is it just me that finds particle effects look best when you freeze them and then do a bit of a matrix, move the camera, and you see all the bits kind of.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I love doing that. It's so sad.
If you shift and right click, I think, there we go. So all these are 3D, well, there's 3D particle effects and 2D particle effects.
I've got to admit, I'm finding it really hard to resist buying the Oculus VR,
Oculus Rift with the 4-month free trial. Yeah.
Connect that thing up to the Ouya, well, frankly, to anything, and we'll be very happy. Because apparently the Ouya's got some 3D capabilities on the table, right? So somebody mentioned.
Okay, so I just hid the cursor. So that's a good point there.
Right, there might be another one to center it.
For the on the Ouya, the mouse hiding, there are issues. Read the developer forum for that stuff.
Did somebody actually finally find out how to hide it? Because I didn't.
I don't think so.
Support.
No, I think it's a continuing problem, and I think also there's no way to change the cursor into another shape, to replace the mouse cursor. So, but I'm assuming, Kev, you're not going to be using the mouse, on the Ouya anyway, right? You'll probably be using a stick.
It's still like an up and down question for us right now. I mean, there's cool little interactive elements that we can use. Like, say, if you're jumping out of a plane in a cutscene and you're parachuting down, then you can kind of flick up to, like, get out of the plane or, like, jump out. Like, there's very interactive things that we're still thinking about, but for right now, I mean, nothing has been fully, yeah, we're going to do it. Everything's still up in the air.
Well, I recommend, be aware of that whole, you don't seem to be able to hide the mouse on Ouya, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be bumping that very much, and it disappears like 3 seconds after you bump it. So.
Yeah. Hey, the whole point of this call is to to pimp Tim's Unity plugins, but also to for each help each other out.
Yeah. So check out all these lasers. They had me at lasers. So you can adjust the time scale to see like what it looks like.
My question is, how do you take it and put it in your game? Like.
Yeah, I haven't figured out. They've got 2 videos that you can watch.
Hold on. Door.
And I was watching the TNet videos, so I watched the first 2 TNet videos on networking. And that was pretty cool because it looks so easy to just add networking to your game.
So here's a funny thought for you. All those lasers, they look awesome. They're probably alpha blended, because notice it's all against a black background.
So should I
Change
click
your
on my
background
camera?
color.
And, yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
current background.
Because having played around, obviously, I've got, everything's, at the moment in my current levels, everything's white in the background because it's all snowy, and of course, half the effects and things are generated. It's like, well, alpha blend, and that looks rubbish. Or invisible,
All right. So basically, how does it stack up when you have your cool laser? How the effect does it look like when you start putting bad art behind it? Like, this is gonna like make it look better.
Cruel! Do you guys know how you can tell what intent which packages receive? So on Android, about Android intents?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's how you launch other applications with an
yeah.
intent.
So the
Do you have an APK and you want to know what the intent is?
well, no. The only way, I'll give you the deal. Basically, you can't. For those of us without an Ouya at the moment, we want to test on our Nexus 7s because they've got Tegras, or we want to test them on an emulator. But the latest Ouya ODK, loads of the stuff doesn't work. One of the things that doesn't work, believe it or not, is the input system. Joy. And the reason that input system doesn't work is because they've changed the way that Ouya Input Manager does its job. It used to be a wholly standalone thing, and now it fires an intent to a service provider which isn't in the packages that they provide you. We conclude this because, nothing, it just doesn't get any response back to its intent. So on your actual, live Ouyas, there must be a package there that provides this particular intent. Now, the only way I could think to do this would be to go to all the manifest files, flick through them all and look for this, grep for this intent. I was wondering if you had any genius ways of finding this information, and then if you might fancy maybe copying the package out to this thread so that we could all get our flipping Nexus 7s working.
Yeah. Okay. So I probably have something on my Ouya that you need. So with this good drop tool, I have this thing I just right click it, refresh packages, and it gets a list of all the packages installed. And then I just go to package, and then I can download it. So if you know what the name of the thing is, you probably just need this APK on your Nexus.
Yeah, totally. It's applications provider. Interesting. So yeah, I'll. What's the best way to come at this? If I find you the name.
Accidentally downloaded one. Here we go. Download one of these.
The challenge is to know. I mean, it's bound to be TV Ouya something, isn't it? Or I don't know. Actually, some of them don't have names.
Well, there's Ouya Launcher, Ouya Wallpaper, Ouya Keyboard. It can't be Ouya Keyboard.
Yeah. It's not. Well, I know it's not Framework and it's not Launcher because they supply those two in the ODK. So it has to be one of the others.
There's also a Framework res. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, maybe recently. Could be. And then we've got Settings Provider. I mean, it's going to have a provider in it. We could just guess one. You can ADB into your Ouya, right?
Yeah.
ADB shell?
Yep.
I wonder whether we could...
Jeez,
can you ADB...
If only I had a tool or something. Let's see.
Hardy.
No, I added some new buttons here. It's only on Windows, so I didn't advertise it yet, but I have this thing that you can click on it and it just opens a logcat, or you click open shell and it'll just open up a shell right in your platform tools folder. Because I can't tell you how many times I had to navigate there.
So I went to the door and it was the mailman, and he delivered my Leap.
Oh, you bastard! How did you get that?
They contacted us.
No way.
Yeah, because we submitted our applications. Then they're like, they called Jeremy up and they're like, listen, we want to speed up the process.
Okay,
And like,
I'm in, Rupert.
had Pytheria on the box, and the guy's like, is your name Pytheria? I was like, no.
No, but it'll do. Okay, can you go into... Oh, where are you now? Can you go into data... Where would it be? It'll probably be in data. Can you see anything yet? You haven't rooted your drive... You haven't got root access, I assume.
No problem.
On here. Yes, you...
Now I do.
Excellent. Brilliant. Okay, so if you go into... I think it's app, again. There are the APKs. Now, if you were... Could you try unzip -H? Just to see whether unzip's there. Unzip not
No,
there.
a lot
Okay,
of stuff isn't here, like, not even like VI or Vim.
yeah.
How can you not have Vim on Unix? Come on!
Yeah. Okay, that's going to slow us down. I wonder whether they've extracted all the things somewhere.
No grep? I can't believe it.
Okay, well, if there's no grep, then we're screwed anyway. Right.
Yeah.
Never mind. You need to get busy books on it.
I haven't put too much...
Man, there were some funny names there. Sorry, I'm just distracted by all these weird names. Okay, cool. I don't think there's any better way than kind of finding out what the package is and, you know, going through them individually
Right.
if they're otherwise.
I was just gonna add like a find
Thank
search
you.
function in my little good drop thing. So hopefully we'll have a APK for that to try out soon.
That'd work.
And I can also download the APKs for all those and just send them to you.
Cool.
You can try it on your Nexus 7.
Yeah, if you... Yeah, like I said, if I could get the APKs, I can just unzip them to find which is the right one. But obviously, you just pull them all open, and then you know you can write a Unix command line just to go through them all and check.
All right. I'm trying
That's
this.
what I said. For f in star.apk pipe semicolon unzip -p $f space Android manifest.xml pipe grep the name of the intent that we're looking for and echo $f semicolon done. What do you mean I've been
Whoa,
at Unix too long?
Yeah, I'm confused. How does this plug in? Tim, you have a Leap, right?
Yeah.
Alright. What kind of USB did they send you?
What kind of USB?
It's a full-size USB. You just plug it in.
I know, but I got, whatchamacallit?
Do you have a micro USB?
Yeah, I got a micro USB, and on the Leap, it looks like there's no micro USB connection.
Well, you just need a $2 adapter from Amazon.
That's just cruel. Shipping somebody a device like that but not giving them the right cable?
Damn it! It didn't even come inside the right box.
Evil.
I've got so many of the, like, even your Android phones should have the micro USB in it. All right.
I know, but it's got
I was
like a
gonna say-
weird plug. I think they sent me like a retail version. I'm guessing.
is it-
Like,
Has it got like sort of little indents at the side? Is it micro or is it mini USB? Because there's
no, it's like it looks like it's proprietary.
Oh, in that
There's
case,
something in the box. Just look in your box a little bit more. It has a connector.
I know, but you usually know how they come with like dev kit 0.6 on it or something. This one just came inside a plain box. There's nothing else. Here, I shall upload this picture on the internets for all you guys.
Yeah, I have a thing. Hang on.
we don't want to know about your thing.
Yeah, okay, hold on.
Maybe I can join the Hangout from my phone. Yeah, it's happening.
Some stuff's going down now. Here we go.
Oh, buddy, it is going down.
Or did we get to see Did we get to see Craig's polarity game? I'm sorry, just reading backwards through the IM conversation.
We'll totally watch that in a second. I went and
Oh,
I grabbed
yeah.
my leap, so I'm gonna turn on my camera. Here we go. You can see.
Manage data.
How does yours look? Show me yours.
Okay, so
That's not fair. I know it sounds nasty. Yeah, mine did not come in a box like that.
okay, would I see this? Is the image mirrored for you, or is it? Can you read leap motion?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's good.
For us.
That's good.
Okay, it's just mirrored for me, I guess. All right, in the box, it has this thing that I haven't read yet, but
I did not
See.
get one of those.
all right. So this is the leap little message. When David and I started signing the leap. All right, sign
All right.
co-founder, whatever. Okay.
Can you guys
We're
see? Oh, whoops.
Use one of your microphones.
Then it has the
Try.
styrofoam in there. So did you get styrofoam?
How does
Alright.
it now? Okay,
Okay.
yeah, it works now.
Perfect.
Here's the leap guy,
Oh, cool.
and
It's
it has,
tiny.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is right, but check it
are you
out.
looking for this connector thing? Because maybe you just it's hard.
You
to
guys-
It's in silhouette. Yeah. Can't see that. What is?
Okay, well this is just a USB micro, and it's got two connectors in there for a smaller one. Anyways, that
Oh,
plugs into
really?
here.
So
Yeah,
mine's
that-
not like screwed up or anything. Can you guys see my video?
Hang on a second. Switching to your video.
I'm the dude in the silhouette mode.
Yeah.
I think you're just missing this cable, which is micro USB to regular USB. So female micro USB to male USB connector.
Man, I like that keyboard. Sorry, not distracting by the background at all.
Do you like the build? Check it out.
Glowy. Whoa! Awesome.
And I got dual screen set up. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's right, Tim. Is that like the
Yeah,
right
big
connector?
ones.
Is that the same as you?
It's just a micro to USB.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you again. You gotta click on me.
This is the box that it came in. It's the plain white box.
Okay, I'm gonna click on you. Hang on. Okay, now I'm looking.
Alright, right here.
Okay, so that's right. Okay, yeah. And then where's your connector?
Plugged in. So right here.
Yeah.
So I just like plug it in? Like what do I do?
Yeah, it's just like a phone plug-in.
Okay. Well, you guys all get a look at my face now.
Quick, cue the horror music.
What would be most appropriate? I can't think of a good one. Probably.
So it just plugs in like that?
Yep.
How do I know if it's on? Oh! Shit, there's a status light.
That's a good indication.
Well, this is gonna be fun.
That's the same keyboard I have.
Yeah, so that's the Razer Widow Ultra, and then I have the Mamba. There's my Ouya!
So, like,
Man,
they have
you
this
guys are
keyboard. You can set
so
the
blatant.
LED color, which is cool, but
This
why
one?
can't you set the individual colors on every key? Like, session phase, like, what's the right color? How do you pick it, you know?
Mine, on this keyboard, is always blue. I can't switch it. Can you switch yours?
Okay, so I don't have exactly that keyboard. I've got this one.
And over to Tim
This is,
in our
this is
studio.
the show and tell time. I've got the Logitech guy, that
Ah,
and it has these little. Okay.
I knew I should have got Logitech.
Yep.
Alright, bye.
There we go.
G510.
Now this side. There we go. Okay, so it has these little buttons, and then you can set macros, and you can change the color from the keyboard. So,
Is anybody else on this call, just for the rest of the people on the call, is anybody else looking down at their, regular kind of laptop and going, I feel small now. I'm so poor.
Yay, it's updating.
all right,
Hey,
and then
Tim.
there's an excellent Unity article that shows how to hook your Leap up to the
Boot camp.
demo scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, for boot camp.
Well, this is what it looked like. So hi, everybody.
Oh, the hitch now,
It's
of course,
Kevin.
is because
I know, Kevin looks different.
have you done something with your hair?
Oh, definitely. Actually, I need to get it cut tonight. Cut it really, really short.
Hey, so Tim, after you check out the Polarity
Oh,
game,
you're right. Thanks for the
can
reminder.
can you check out Whitewater after that? Just
Oh, can't
I'm
wait.
just curious in the FPS.
My kids have, really want the update. They're like, what do you mean I can't play Whitewater?
Good.
Go Tim's kids.
I'll make all kinds of in-app purchases to make millions off your kids.
I know. Money laundering.
Yeah.
You're gonna have Tim going to you, hey, you think you can give me this for free because I gave you that input thing, that worked?
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna totally have to buy 10 copies of Snowman now.
Oh. I'm gonna buy 10 different Ouyas just to buy it. One inside every room.
I was seriously thinking about buying 4 Ouyas and then sticking it in our local pizza place because they've got Nintendo 64s in there and super old stuff, and I'll just put one game on there, my game.
Oh no, hang on a second, sneaky. You build one of those old arcade machines. You put a Ouya in there and mount the controls and everything. And it's this enormous box and this tiny little.
Whoa!
That'd be
That's
so fun.
so cool.
Oh, you could have a little Perspex display case at the top. It's here are the brains, at the top, with little lights
Right.
pointing at it and stuff.
All those are is a giant box with a mirror in there, and the mirror is just aimed at the monitor on the inside. So you could probably find one at a yard sale for $100. You throw in a mirror in there, throw in the Ouya, and then you're good to go. You just have to wire in the buttons.
Well, these days you'd just take your NAFO monitor that you're about to throw out and mount it at a slight angle rather than pointing vertically up, and you'd be
There you go.
probably be it, really, wouldn't it? I'm sure I've got 3 or 4 old monitors I could. He says, looking around and spotting
In the
message.
garage. Yeah, I've got
reckon-
them in the garage. I can't even sell them. I put them on Craigslist for $20 and nobody came. Put them
Yeah,
on
I know.
Craigslist for $5 and nobody came.
Sad, isn't it?
It's not worth the drive.
Dude, it's so cool.
And I know I paid $200 for each one. It's a 17-inch CRT.
I know.
Come on, you want it?
I've still got my 17. Actually, no, I got a 19. I bought a 19-inch CRT, and it's damn, it was huge. It was great, and e-armor, and it was lovely, but days gone by.
And it's a
And now
whopping
I've got a-
28 pixels per inch too.
And now I've got a 30-inch Dell, and it is gorgeous.
The Leap is so cool.
This one looks
taking the
pretty
leap.
sleek. Okay, so I found Whitewater. What was the Polaris? Was there a download in the chat here?
I think it's just on the Ouya already, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
See. Oh, we'll use the search function again. Polarity.
It's a shame they've gone with the keyboard as opposed to the radial type input.
How do I get up there?
Eh?
There we go. Only 4 likes? Like, how can I not like everything on here? It's like, come on.
Hey Tim, you should try to get access to that radial keyboard thing and put it into your ODK.
Yeah. Oh,
That'd
I
be
love
great.
this splash screen.
Thanks.
I want to launch it again just so I can see that one more time.
That is nice, yeah.
And I'm
this
going
looks
to be
good.
updating the characters, so they should look more like the guys in the splash screen, actually.
I have a product idea right now. This is like the whitewater. You need whitewater horror version where as there's like they got like
Zombies.
these horrified like well yeah, zombies floating in the water, sure, but I was thinking horrified faces of the kayakers like as they're floating down the rocks.
That'd be great.
I can't get into the campaign part.
No, it's not turned on.
Oh,
Just
okay.
to practice.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Practice.
Don't go multiplayer again and mess it all up.
Okay.
Although it should work, but
Cute.
there's 2 kayaks. Don't pick the short one, because you'll go really, really slow.
Okay.
So if you go left and right, then you can cycle through the achievements, and then you basically just
Okay.
pick one and go. But I mean, they all launch the same river right now, so it doesn't matter.
Here we go.
How long has this been in development? It's always interesting to know.
Probably since the Create game jam, basically.
Nice. I like the fly-through. Is that iTween?
Nope, that's just a animated camera, basically.
Nice. Oh, it's pretty. How's the frame rate, Tim?
Yeah, it has the frame rate.
It's okay. I forgot how to control the game. I'm
It's
trying the sticks. Oh, here we go. Okay,
It's
so
O and forward or back, and then U and whatever, and then the triggers are just turn sharply.
all right. There used to be a way to like go in the direction.
Go. Yeah. You. It's O and forward, left stick.
See, here's the part where it should be going like, oh my god, ah!
I'm drowning! Oh, it is, down the bottom right. About to run out of oxygen.
And then it should be saying, oh my god, Sean's dead. He's brain dead.
Oh my god, you killed Kenny!
Yeah, when I was asking for permission to for the kayak likenesses and the decals and stuff, one of the companies was like, "So there's not going to be blood and guts in this, right?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Okay, good. Don't do that."
Did you get an art company to do all of the art, or the rocks and things?
The rocks
Really?
and trees and stuff are a pack, so that's the nature pack on the
Right.
asset store.
Yeah.
And the kayaks I got, I paid one of my friends to do the kayaks, and the character I'm doing in the water shader was through a different pack that I got. Easy Water, I think it was, or
It's
something
nice.
like
It's
that.
I hope you don't mind my asking, because I'm relatively new to the Unity stuff, and it's just awesome. This like sort of, hey, there are packs, asset store. I'll just have one of those and one of these, and bang, I've made a game. And it's like so much faster than, okay, we need an art in-house. I need to interview some people, put this thing out to contract. It's
Yeah.
I'll just pull these things together, and bang, there's a game.
I think the crazy thing is how the artists are making more than the programmers now in the asset store.
Mhm.
Right.
That's insane. I can't write my boat. What do I hit? Again?
You hit U and hit to the side, like left stick side. Is that working?
I think it's missing some of the controls that I used to use.
Okay, try the A.
How could there not be blood on the rocks as you scrape?
I might have to put some voices in there. Ah, screaming.
And I think I swallowed some water. I'm gonna be sick. And then you have a puke flood. You need that scene from Goonies, right, where he talks about being in the movie theater.
Right. So yeah, those controls aren't working then?
I can't up.
Left stick and O. O and left stick up.
Yeah, it's not working. I've
that-
done it before, like in the previous build. I just can't do it now.
Yeah, it's your new inputs. They're just not
Man.
they're just not working. Yeah, the writing and stuff I have to use on Xbox controller. I have to use B, and then there you go. Have you figured it out?
No, I just got lucky.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So obviously it doesn't work.
All right, we have to look at this one more time.
What's that? Hey, how does the icon thing show up? Logo, whatever. It went too fast last time. I didn't see it.
All right, so here we go. It looks good. It's the right orientation and stuff. I mean, right dimensions. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this. Yeah, I love that laughing goal. All right, here is where I was thinking, man, if they had super scared faces.
What does orbit mean?
Orbit. I just to do tricks and stuff, so you can like turn your kayak completely over, and So I just figured orbit was a good word for it, but
cool.
Maybe not.
Do
you have any other suggestions?
Don't the canoers, the kayakers, they have a word for that thing where you invert yourself? Is that right? I don't know what it is, but my sister's done it, and I thought there was a word for it, but I don't know what it is. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was just
dunking, right? So you get dunked when you're upside down.
Undunking.
Yeah, undunking.
No, I just thought it was you write yourself.
No. There's because it's specifically a trick is to do that thing. Come on, we must be able to Google that. What is liquid physics? It sounds cool. We call it the snowman.
I'm looking for Polaris.
Oh right,
yeah. The search doesn't work at all here. I'm hitting the Y button and nothing's happening.
Hmm.
I didn't download it yet. Polarity. There we go.
It was on page 1 of the sandbox, says Craig.
So I'll have to fix that for you, Tim, and send you another update.
Okay.
Later today. So your kids stop hounding you.
Yeah. Oh, they just want to play real bad. It's like, you want some dinner? No, we gotta play Whitewater. I'm not gonna eat. We're on a hunger strike.
Eskimo roll. There you go. It's called an Eskimo roll.
But see, that's only one specific thing, right?
Oh, right. I did. Fair enough.
That could be something totally different in a zombie game.
Zombie roll.
Heads will roll.
No, an Eskimo roll is something you eat as a zombie.
It's like sushi.
This looks good. Is this Craig's one?
Polarity.
Man, it's Tron-like. I like it.
Glowy.
Mm. Oh, did you play the Tron computer game, the first person?
The original.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. How many of us have not written our own versions of the original? But I actually meant,
What's up, Eric?
Hello, everyone.
Eric's in the house.
How do I run fast? It'll probably be the next tutorial, huh? Okay, here we go.
Whoa, what game is this?
Eric, you missed all the input stuff.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah.
Darn. Well, what did I miss? I mean, like, basically,
We're going
I
to be
was
using
just
regular Unity input. From now on, it works.
the legacy Unity input system works now.
Yeah.
The non-legacy one. You've got it
Non-legacy.
working? It's-
Well,
Yeah.
maybe I picked a horrible name there. It's like, I meant legacy is in like backwards compatible with the previous version, but you can use the Unity API now for input for accessing buttons.
Awesome.
I'm so tempted to just make all those changes for that right now. Sitting here, quickly tweaking it all before I upload this new build.
Awesome. Yeah, that was just one of my main questions. Was did that get fixed yet? Which I guess it did. But
Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can toggle things off.
So I noticed in your input manager asset, it goes up to, was it joystick 5? And it gets the joy axes like 1 through 10. Does that mean that if we were to like continue that all the way up to 8, that it would still work?
Okay, so fun times over. Talking about edit project settings input. You're talking about these 70. That's right. It should be 71. Okay. So you see 1 through. There should be 10 axes or 8, at least 8. Oh, 5. Yeah, it should go up through 8 at least. It's just in here. Depends on if it's available. Yep. Yeah, it should go all the way through 10. But
Okay.
with Bluetooth, you can only support up to 8. But I suppose there's nothing stopping people from plugging in a USB hub and a hub into that one and a hub, and then you can have 11-player gauntlet going on.
And that would be so ridiculous.
What was that ninja one we were talking about?
Mark of the Ninja?
Is that the one where it has like a ton of players and then you have to pretend to be a zombie so that people don't know you're the human guy?
Nope.
I hear that.
Don't know that one.
Sounds kind of like the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, but with zombies.
Or it was ninjas, but yeah, some sort of ninja game where the stealth is the main mechanic, and there's like NPC characters around you, like everybody plays on the same thing. It's a multiplayer game.
That does sound a lot like Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Which is really, really... It's good. I don't know. What do you guys think? I like that.
I haven't played it yet.
Is there going to be any difference at all between using the Unity input system? Like, I assume that's still available? Or did you cut that out?
Okay, so or I'll start over, I suppose. Okay, so
I don't want to make you redo a whole bunch of stuff you were talking about earlier.
No, it's I made it really easy.
Okay.
So in the 1018 update, there is. I'll switch to the right Unity thing. Okay. In the Ouya game object, there's this new used legacy input, and it's checked by default, which means it's backward compatible with the previous version. And when you
Okay.
uncheck it, it makes it so that the regular Unity input works. So you can just use input.getAccess, input.getButton, all that stuff. And then there was one little change that we had to make it work right, which was in the
Trivial change.
it's the important thing was this comment right here. Basically, because on generic motion event was private in the Unity jar or whatever, since we were piping stuff to it, it was ignoring the access events. So it was just like, well, pipe it to the touch event, and that made it so it could pick it up. So
Wait, that just happened in this stream today?
yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
I heard you guys talking like before I had to leave and then come back. That's crazy.
Yeah,
And they say that we're just wasting time here. I mean, come on.
yeah, it's monumental.
Shooting the breeze.
Well, way to
Shooting
go,
each other.
Rupert. You like pretty much saved Ouya.
Yeah, right there. Personally, get a new badge. We should change your badge in the forums right now.
So it will work identically to if you were to use, what was it, the Ouya input manager?
Yeah, I mean it'll work just like how you've always used the Unity input system. All right, so
Okay.
I didn't really cover the code at all. So take a little. Okay. There is a new example now. Oh, that's why I was trying to get to the Unity thing. Okay. Jeez, when you have 5 open, it's always hard to remember which one. Okay. On the main Ouya tab, here we go. I've got some quick, easy buttons, and it's the Use Show Unity Input scene. If you go to that guy, there's a new example script in the examples package called Ouya Show Unity Input here. And yeah, it's just calling the regular input.getAccess.
Cool.
And so I'm doing string formats here, but it's basically comes down to it's saying input.getAccess joy1 access 1 to match the same settings that were in the input manager.
Right. Cool.
So that's for
I've got a helper script for that stuff if anybody wants one. You know, you can supply names for the axes and numbers for the players. I don't know.
Yeah.
I assume
Oh.
everybody writes the same input, the same helper script. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
man, writing
that's
this
what I
damn
added
thing
for
over
button.
again.
Yeah, I added that forget button here, so you just pass the player, which is the enum, and then the controller 0 through 19. And then that
Yeah.
in turn, inside there, deep down, it's calling input.getKey.
Okay. So wait, what was
The same thing would also work for input get button. And then you can pass the button name. Oh, but I did it as key codes because I didn't want to set up all 20 buttons for all 10 accesses in the input manager.
Yeah, I
Key
ended up
codes were much easier.
creating a function inside my script where you give it a player and a button, and then it returns you a key code.
Okay, that's essentially what this is.
Okay,
okay.
guys, what is the difference? This is one of something that's been bugging me because I've spent a load of time faffing around with that flippy input manager GUI. How do you just use a key code of some sort to get a quick bypass to this stuff?
Yeah. So take a look at these key codes. So with a single key code,
Hey.
so joystick button. So this is joystick 1. Joystick.
And these do not need to be defined within the input manager.
No, it's already part of the Unity engine space.
This
I-
list you're seeing though is made by Tim, not Unity though, right?
Yeah. Well, I added some that were missing because they only had like up to 4, and I just added key codes for the rest of them.
I see. So you can pass these ints to the get input.
Key. Right, and
To
then
get-
you can
yeah, to get-
and with a single enum you can specify the joystick number and the button,
Fantastic.
and then it's just
Okay.
input get key. So the way it works for I'm casting the string to the enum, and then from the enum to an int to a key code, and then it's in the Unity side. But still, I mean, this doesn't stop you from just using input.get button and defining your own names that you want to use as well.
Okay, cool.
So that is in.
Definitely have to have a look at that.
Back to our favorite input settings here. So that's why I had a 72. So I was like, all right, what would it take? Jeez. Can't click the right part. Okay, 72. So I was like, all right, let's add the first button. So you can give it a name, Joy 1, button 1. And then I started looking at all this stuff like, oh man. They could have had like a nice drop-down joystick 1, nice drop-down button 1 through 20, but it just wasn't there. So I was like,
Yeah.
forget that.
If you just clone large chunks of this, or automate it, or provide a flipping, binary to text and text to. I know there's a binary to text, but a text to binary.
Yeah, I could totally do that because it's all GAML, but all that text editing is pro only. So I'd cut out all the free users, and so that's why I just provide the file. Otherwise, you'd have even cooler tools.
Larry has a question in the IM, by the way.
Okay.
I don't know whether that's something that you know the answer to, but hey,
No,
just
okay.
once you get past other stuff, I know it's difficult when you're talking on presenting and stuff to spot the questions as they're popping up from the people that aren't,
Yeah.
well, big mouths like me.
Hey, in the instructions. Oh, he's talking about what's the device identifier. Yeah, that's the device identifier for the Ouya. So you put that number into the INF file, and that's how Windows knows, hey, this is what device my thing is for. Otherwise, maybe I'll show you that.
Ah, okay. I went ahead and I went to the other computer and I actually deinstalled the drivers on my Windows computer.
Huh?
And then brought it back over here. So, now that I have it back on my Mac computer, is there a way I can install the drivers from over here? Because I re-pulled up the ADB thing in the terminal and tried to once again put it on, and it gave me this error. Let me find it real quick.
Yeah, he's
Something
asking
like-
some Mac stuff.
It's like it said.
I haven't even tried to plug in the Ouya into my Mac lately. Not since I updated the drivers. Okay.
Okay, well, fair enough.
But it'd be interesting to see. Okay. So you're doing ADB commands there, right?
Yeah.
So, but how did you set up the device? So ADB is kind of after you've done the driver setup.
Oh. Oh, I haven't set the drivers yet. I deinstalled them because I found out you had to deinstall them and reinstall them, but I haven't installed the new ones. I was wondering how you go about doing them.
Yep, I'll have to ask the Ouya team. Maybe make a video on how to install the Mac drivers.
So just send out a contact to the Ouya team?
Yeah, I mean, they probably covered it in the forums too.
Yeah, I was scrolling around there. I didn't see anything, but I might just missed it.
Is it just me, or is the Oh, is Kevin giving us a big echo?
Yeah, I'm getting echo too.
I always
Kevin, you
just blame
not
Kevin.
chatting. Yeah, it's always
Usually
Kevin's fault.
Kevin's like, it's not me. I've got a headset on.
He's muted now.
Might be my station.
No, he's not. Come on, dude.
Still in their culture.
So, is it just me, or is the Unity forum software really irritating? You know, the search is, I don't know what kind of...
Oh yeah, the search on the
Search
Unity
language.
forums is useless.
It's horrible. You can use one word. If you try and put 2 words in, nope, we don't find any of that. I think it's sentence search or something. There's no, ands and whatnot.
What I find is really helpful is to completely ignore the Unity forum search and just go to Google, and you can always search Unity forum and then your search things, and that will be you'll get much more accurate results that way.
True. However, that's like just part of the irritation that is the Unity forums. They don't have, like Tim's post, let me know if there's a new post kind of thing, because there's no way to be informed when there is a new post. Tim, do you have any pull with them? Can you get them to change that forum software? It's really irritating. Better software.
Yeah, it's
like
just
one that supports RSS.
There's a way around it though. So you have
using
a
which?
search term, right? So you're like, okay, I want to look for something, and you can manually make it better by splitting it up into binary pairs. So you change that to be LOOOOKFOORSOOMTTHING, something like that, and then you put that as your search term, and it usually finds it pretty good. I'm just messing with you, but that's how a good algorithm would work.
April Fools.
Am I echoing now? Am I good?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, not hearing any more echo.
But that's how the Yahoo search engine used to work, like 10 years ago or something.
I used to have a job. Where we used to say the sole thing we were paid for, and we were paid quite well, was knowing how to use the search engine on the particular, program that we were, kind of supporting and stuff. So knowing how to do good search is like half the battle, isn't it? So these days it's JFGI.
I just know the best terms, which are IMG. And you can see everybody that has an image post.
I was wondering if anybody had any benchmark numbers from the Ouya that they could share. Like how many frames per second their game is running at on a computer, and how many frames per second it's running at on an Ouya, and then their PC specs.
Ouya taps out at 60, doesn't it? I didn't think it let faster than that. Tim?
Right, it's capped at 60, as far as I know, unless there's a way to disable the
Okay.
monitor.
Or
Hang on.
I was going to get into more of that stuff with my next tool, which is, I don't know if you were in here when I started that, but
I don't think so.
basically I'm adding like a remote scene browser type thing. What I call it, Scene Explorer. So basically, I'll have like the editor open, and I'll be able to see the editor's hierarchy and the scene, and then I'll have the Ouya open. And so I'll be remotely, okay, so I'll pick the Ouya as one of the clients, click on that, and then I'll be able to toggle things on and off while I monitor the FPS counter. And then that'll help you like find your bottlenecks, because you can just, oh, what happens if I turn off this particle system or disable this renderer or whatever, and then you'll be able to instantly see, without having to like rebuild again, you'll have like real-time feedback on how your performance is impacted by turning things on and off.
Okay, yeah, that'd be very useful. Well, just to get a ballpark, my game, let's see, I think it's running at like 160 frames per second under a heavy load of gameplay, and I have a GTX 660 and a Intel i7. You think I'm like roughly within the ballpark of something that would run at a decent frame rate on the Ouya?
Well, I can talk about my experience. Like, I was getting 1,000 frames a second on the desktop, and then I published to an Android device, and I was getting like 5 frames a second. and then I started to turn stuff off. So I turned off all my screen effects, and it went up to 15 frames a second. And then I set all the shaders from whatever they were on to just diffuse, mobile diffuse, and then it jumped up to like 30 frames a second. And then I turned everything off except for like one spaceship, and then I was still getting like 40 frames a second. And then I turned off the spaceship, and then I was up to 60. So I knew it was the spaceship. But it was only like one. What do you mean? I can only have one model and it drops down from 60? Come on. So I'll start to make optimization tools as I find out what the bottlenecks are.
Okay,
I think
so like
there are some recommendations about things that you should avoid on Android. If you just look up Unity and Android performance, there's something on the Unity wiki about that stuff, but on the docs about it, alpha shaders are apparently not great, point lights are terrible, shadows, projectors are just horrible. Just stuff like that. I had projector shadows on and they killed my frame rate, so that was it. Bang, got rid of those. I'm up to 60.
how about physics?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. I have some physics, and I have my current performance problem is I add, I think it's 20 objects, one frame, and it kills my frame rate for a couple of frames. What am I doing? They're all physics enabled. That's a bit suspicious to me. But that said, I am running, as many as there are players, which are using character controllers, which are accelerating under gravity, and using the character controllers, collide below, and stuff to do collisions. And I've got a football which is bouncing with physics, and then some other things. Performance frame rate with all of that stuff running seems okay so far. Like I say, 60 on that, so it can definitely do some, if that's of any help. But I don't have anything more specific. Sorry.
I'm a little worried about that because my game's full of physics. Like, absolutely packed to the brim with physics. Like,
Yeah, well, the problem, of course, is you've got, you might have gotten used to physics under desktop, but I know it's a NVIDIA processor, but does the Tegra 3 do anything like physics? I severely doubt it. So,
But
that
I
said,
built in some stuff though. There's the NDK thing, right? Like this button that you've been clicking that I haven't really expanded on, but that basically lets you write C++ code there. And in C++ you could add your own physics engine possibly, and add like some hooks, and then be doing physics in another thread, and not using Unity physics or whatever. But you might be able to like squeeze out even better performance. Because C++ is supposed to run faster than C# by a lot, right? So.
Yeah, but they're not going to be Unity will going to have a the fastest physics engine on any given platform that they can possibly get a hold of, right? I mean, unless Eric has some kind of application-specific knowledge that he can say, well, I don't need, I don't know, non-convex polyhedral collisions or something. Great, But otherwise.
yeah, I would definitely go for performance over whatever that is. I don't even know what that is.
Well, you know what I mean. If generalized optimizations are never as good as domain knowledge-based optimizations. So
Yeah.
if you know that you don't need thing A, then the fastest way to optimize thing A is not to do thing A at all. So I was just meaning. But otherwise, come on, aren't Unity going to have nailed the physics?
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know. I can always do some more APIs.
Oh yeah.
But there is
physics control.
There is your physics mapping. Okay, so it's not as interesting there, but like for a real project.
Yeah, I've messed around with the physics layers stuff and everything set up, so that might be helping me.
Right. So when you have kind of a pretty good matrix going on of things that can hit each other,
I thought mine was big.
turning stuff off
Phenomenal.
will save you. Because maybe you're getting unfair between things.
Yeah, I've also noticed little things like sphere colliders are faster than cube colliders for I'm guessing it's just easier to calculate, and it's not actually calculating the geometry of a sphere.
Yeah, totally. So if you can use, you should always go for a non-geometry based collider. You know, so I think in order
primitive
spheres.
collider.
Yeah, if you can go spheres, axis-aligned boxes, they're really super fast. If you know, in almost every physics engine, capsules are good as well because you can do a cheat to say it's one sphere and another sphere, and then the space between them. That's why you get those specific shapes in physics engines.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably just end up. If spheres are the fastest, I'll probably end up just going with all spheres and make them look like cubes and stuff like that.
Well, if you were able to port your game over as soon as possible, me and Tim can actually test it.
Yeah, actually, I was just about to say, since now the Unity input manager, regular Unity input is working, that would be something I could just do now, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got that.
Yeah, or you could just go hardcore and write it in C++, your own physics engine.
Yeah.
Good idea,
Well.
Tim.
I'm already like creating my own custom input system, and I don't know if
Tim,
I
have you got
have to.
the partner books to that one, the Essential Mathematics and the whatever it is, the orange book as well. He says looking sideways at them but can't quite read the titles. Game of physics.
That one was real-time collision detection. And it just
Yeah,
talks
they're
about,
really
like,
good,
the
aren't they?
net-
I tried to implement it off the back of a paper I read about it once, and my mind was completely destroyed. And then you go to that book, and it's like, just do this. Damn it.
So
Why did
if I wanted to send my game to either Kevin or Tim, how should I go about doing that?
in my case,
Package
just
it up.
email it to me.
Yeah.
Just the
And then
project
send-
folder?
Well, and then just make a Dropbox link to your APK. If you want to...
So-
Oh, yeah, just send all your source code. There you go. I mean, yeah, a Dropbox build is fine.
Yeah,
That's
an
the
APK. It's all good.
Wait, what's a APK?
So when
Android
you build
package.
for Android, yeah, it's that.
Okay.
But when you build,
So I gotta set it up for Android before I... Oh, I see. That's what Unity exports when you export it as Android.
right?
Yeah, it'll build the APK for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to get the Android license and set that all up then.
Right. You should be able to get away with Android Basic, just the $400 one.
Okay. Yeah, that was the one I was planning on getting.
Just the $400
Versus the
one.
$1,500 one. So it's a big
That's true.
difference.
Yeah. Well, I actually have not a coupon code, but I have the serial key from when they were giving away for free, and they said that you can upgrade that for 125 instead of 400.
Could you not just use that basic serial key?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I could if I wanted to go back to Unity 3, but my game already is using Mechanim, and I just like Unity 4 in general. I think it's also a little bit faster. It seems just barely faster, but
Supposed to be, yeah.
so yeah, since I'm already like using the Mechanim system, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go with Unity 4.
So you were saying about the upgrade, because I'm using that Android, the free license. It's $120 something, did you say, to upgrade to the 4
Yeah,
Android?
yeah,
basic?
125. If you go to the Unity store, and then I think there's a button that says upgrade. It should like take you through, and you'll probably give the serial key from there and stuff like that.
Okay. I've just never got around to it because it's like, well, I seem to be okay on this Unity 3 thing. Get to know it, get to do the stuff. Good
Yeah.
enough for trying it out.
Just be really careful when transferring over your project. Like back everything up, and because I've heard so many people.
Oh, I'm a huge advocate of version control. Trust me.
Yeah.
Everything's up in Bitbucket for me. So yeah.
Oh, does anybody know? Does the Ouya controllers have rumble packs in them?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay. That was one thing I was wondering about today, was that if like I wanted to do like vibration in the controllers, is there a way to do that?
It doesn't have force feedback. Not in the current one.
Okay, well, that's fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's one of those things where players won't even notice that it's not there.
Nor accelerometers, as far as we know, right?
Yeah, not that I
How would
know
you
of.
even hook up an accelerometer to the Ouya?
Well, if it's in the controller, then it's just input.excel.
Oh, like a PS3 controller or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, you can also use your phone as a controller for the Ouya. And then that has an accelerometer for it.
Wait, you can use your phone as a controller?
Oh, yeah, maybe I should make an example of that one. That'd be a good video. But yeah,
It just sounds interesting. I don't know. If people used it like in a fancy way, it could
No,
be
or
cool.
it
But
could-
if it was a virtual controller, that would be.
yeah. So, like, I mean, on your phone, you can run you could have like a little skins, right? You could be like, oh, here's a skin of an NES controller. Here's a skin of a PlayStation 2 controller. Here's a 360, and you just switch skins, and then you can connect your phone via Bluetooth to the Ouya, and then use that as a controller.
That'd be kind of cool. It'd be really cool. What if you could do like would there be any way of doing like an inventory management system for your game or something? Like, or like maybe like you have an RPG on the Ouya, and then you go to your phone to like tap all your different items and manage them all.
I lost everything you said after you said inventory management system.
Like, well, I guess that would, I don't even know. I think you'd have to create some sort of network to do that.
No, seriously,
Speaking of network,
Oh yeah, we were going to talk
you're-
about network architecture.
Eric, you're totally right, and you should ignore these heathens and their jokes. That would be you're talking about the Wii, the what's it, Wii U.
Oh,
and,
Wii U, that's right. The Wii U already does that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the right way to do it, isn't it? If you can solve the challenge in a convincing way of how to do good multi-screen input and experience and whatnot, then hell, it's great. I think that just to branch out on that subject, I think the thing that's challenging people at the moment is they're trying to say, oh well, I like tactile controls for doing fast, like flicky type stuff, and then there are some things that I want to do touchy type stuff, and a touch screen's great for that, and seeing something detailed and up close, that's finding some way to balance those two. Once you find that sweet spot, I think that's going to be fantastic fun. But
Yeah.
what I've seen of the things so far, they're not the greatest. So
Yeah, I completely forgot about the Wii U when I was talking about that idea.
wow.
But
Also, I messaged you on Skype if you want to see a build of my game.
oh, yeah, I saw that. I'll check that out in a little bit.
Okay, and then for anybody that missed it for the input fix that we did, make sure you include this comment here. I'll grab the line. It's basically on line... Oh, different file. Let's see. So it's in your Unity application Java, and it's line 509, around there, and it looks like this. So instead of piping it to the onGeneric motion event, you pipe it to your onTouch event, and it should work with the 1018 build that you have. Just do that one thing, and then it's magical.
Oh, okay, but that'll automatically be, like, if we were to download the latest ODK and then install it into our game, we wouldn't have to worry about that?
Right. So you get the latest, and then you make this one code change to this file, and then it'll detect it, buttons and input. And all you have to do in your scenes is uncheck that use legacy input box, and it'll use the new stuff.
Okay.
And of course, then you have to call the input.get versus the Ouya input manager.
I'm so looking forward to switching over to that. But given that I've spent the last 3 days making updates so that I could use the basic input system that I've currently got, I'm going to just do this build, upload it, and then send it to you guys so you can tell me what the frame rate's like. Because I know that whatever the frame rates I like on this one, it's going to be better with Tim's new one. So it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I had another question for Tim. Actually, well, or I guess anybody who might know. Actually, I don't know if anybody will know this, but regarding the Ouya store, I was hoping that there would be like some sort of like label or something on all the games that would like, I don't know, I don't want to necessarily say like to label the games that are ports, but if there's some sort of way of communicating to players like these are all the ported games and these are all the actual Ouya games.
That's interesting.
Good idea.
I don't know specifically, but if they're watching this, that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I was really...
I mean, might as well just add a category, right? That's just like ports, and then you could be like, oh, there's Angry Birds.
Right. Yeah, because I'm really worried. That's the only thing about the Ouya and just the Ouya as a console being successful as a whole. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Everything else, it seems like it'll pan out and be okay. But I'm worried that there's going to be that the oversaturation of mobile games is going to pour over onto the Ouya, and that would be what would turn the Ouya into a phone plugged into your TV.
Right. Well, I mean, it still has to go through Sandbox, and people will have to vote it in. So there'd just be a ton of things in there, and you'd have to.
Wait, what's Sandbox?
Oh, okay, so there's Sandbox, and then it's got this pagination thing, and then for each title, like Lemming Rampage, there's a like button next to them, and you have to like them enough so that they get promoted out of Sandbox and then become an official
It's
game.
like
Timmy,
green light.
Is anybody seeing Tim's input screen at the moment?
Sorry,
I'm getting
no,
just
you're not.
IDE still.
Yeah, there you go.
So
You're giving this
wait.
great explanation, but there's like nothing.
No video. Okay, yeah, so there's...
So it's like green light, but people can play your games on the Ouya before it gets greenlit?
Right.
Oh. Okay, that fixes everything. That's a great plan.
Right. And
However,
if it's a crappy
there are no
port, then you
categories.
just delete it.
So people will just like downvote it, and then it will just be low in the sandbox and
Right.
not
Well,
be.
There's
you
no
know.
downvoting because that was a disaster with Greenlight. That's totally not even useful. But
Right.
a lack of upvoting will be good.
Right. So if it doesn't get upvoted enough, it'll just stay in the sandbox, and like the main store that everybody's going to be looking at is going to be there.
Right. And you can always get to it in the sandbox, but it's not going to be like in the cool section.
Okay. So that's really all it
Cool
is just the cool section.
Right.
Okay. But like but from the sandbox, can you still buy the game and do in-app purchases from the sandbox?
Now that's interesting. Well, okay, so right, remember, so you don't buy any games. They have to implement the IAP purchasing in their game, and in which case that's all live. So you can still buy stuff in their sandbox games, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then it's just where you find it on the stores that will be the only thing that changes?
Right.
Oh, okay. That's a great system. I really like that.
Oh, I don't know how to use the boot camp for Leap. How does it know?
There's the step-by-step guide, right? Did you start with that? Okay, so something I told Kevin last week, and it was about, like, he was asking some client-server architecture stuff, and I told him that we'd talk about client-server architecture stuff. So maybe we could do that for a little bit now.
Sure.
So
I know how I'm
what
going
were you
to do
asking
the
last week?
login.
So
I
first,
mean,
buy Stevens networking book. I'm messing with you. Sorry.
oh my gosh. And we have a snowman build. I didn't even...
Yes!
No. Hang on. I haven't tested it locally yet.
Okay.
It's a load of rubbish. It probably is a load of rubbish, but more rubbish than it was supposed to be.
All right, teaser.
So, okay. I decided that for my login, I'm going to use MySQL and just MD5 hash everything that's going in and out. And that's how I'm going to do my login. And the rest, I mean, is just like Photon and stuff, so I kind of need to learn that. And Tim was telling me about TNet, which I'm probably going to give a go.
Right. So I guess high level, he was asking, like, he had asked a very general question, like, how do you do a login? And I was like, well, geez, I mean, there's so many different ways, right?
Yeah, because I've seen like a lot of different ways. I saw somebody did it through player prefs. I haven't seen that before, and that was kind of cool. And then I was just thinking of like, you know, MySQL or saving it in a different location. I don't know. There were so many thoughts going through my head.
Right. Well, you have to decide early on, right? Whether it's a one-tier system or a two-tier system, or
Yeah.
how you even want to architect the thing.
Yeah.
So just saving
Probably
in player
something-
prefs. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say maybe something that'd be useful to think about is this a game that people are going to... What's going to happen when their Ouya dies and they want to have another Ouya? You know, when you get a replaced box or whatever.
Well,
How
the
they-
Ouya's
I didn't even think about
a
that.
completely different story. The Ouya I'm just gonna do by like if you're logged in on the actual Ouya, if your Ouya is connected to the internet. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. That's probably gonna be a question for Tim after.
Right.
But I mean,
Okay, well, are you going to be able to be the same player on your Ouya as you are on your PC? 'Cause basically, I'm talking, do you have a unified login mechanism, you know, a unified identity system, or do you have separated ones? It makes a lot of other questions
it does.
kind of worse, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. Rupert reminded me of one thing that happened to me on the Xbox, though,
Damn, eh?
which is like my Xbox died. I got a new Xbox, and like all the content was missing that I bought on Xbox Live, right?
Yeah.
And they have this thing. You go through this license thing.
Yeah, the transfer
And it says-
license.
Yeah, and it says you can only do this once every 6 months.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? What the hell? That makes me so
They
mad.
changed it. Now it's like 3.
So you're telling me, like, for games that I own, I have to wait 6 months just because I switched to a different console? That is, or 3 months. I don't care what the time period is. That is just stupid. I don't know.
I'm not sure if I want to have like a unified system because I'm not sure because you see all these like major publishers where everything's switched up and everything is divided by your social network, right? PSN has its own thing, and Xbox has its own thing. Like you don't have one Call of Duty account or one Battlefield account. But I think that's something to think about. I think that's a really cool idea. And I'm gonna talk that one over with Jeremy.
So
I think
along those lines, it's like I play the game Rocksmith. You use a regular electric guitar and you can play it on your Xbox.
yeah.
And I downloaded a bunch of DLC, right? And then, it comes out for the PC and it had a great deal, so I bought it on there. And I log into Rocksmith and it doesn't have any of my DLC there. And they're like, well, yeah, you've got to buy it again. What do you mean I have
Yeah.
to buy it again? I was already paying like $3 for a song, you know?
So this is
I
the
think
reason
I kind
mentioned
of want to go
it
with the unified system.
Yeah, it's the better way. It's got two negative aspects. One, it might be more complicated because you have to do the same. You have to get the same thing working in multiple places. But the other, you're not going to have people buy the same thing in different, on different platforms. Which,
Yeah.
if you're a bastard, you probably think is a good thing, and if you're a user, you probably think is just infuriating. So I'd like, we were chatting.
I mean,
with,
like you want the user experience to be as smooth as it gets. So I think the unified would be the smarter idea. Just because then, like, people are gonna be like, oh, I bought the DLC for Call of Duty on PS3, but I still have to buy it on Xbox. And then one of their friends is gonna be like, oh yeah, well I bought Relapse DLC and I got it for all my consoles.
Yep. Yeah. It's if you try and make all of your choices based upon what would be the best experience for your users, that makes your users happy, and if you've got happy users, then hopefully they are inclined to, play your games, use your stuff, proselytize your your ideals, etc. So I think you have to take that direction.
Yeah, definitely.
Does anybody know, is there a way you can like specify where you save your player prefs?
No, well, that's the Unity API. So player prefs, actually, I think they get nuked each time you do a build as well. But it has like there's a mechanism in there. It's part of Unity. It's abstracted away, so you don't have to worry about it, I suppose, except for when it gets cleared. Okay, so Unity has all these platforms, right? And I used to do a bunch of web player builds and whatnot, and every time we did a build, our player prefs were getting nuked because they're linked to like your application name or something, or the file name of the build. And since we were having our version number for each build in the name of the file, like that's why it was resetting the player prefs. It'd be nice if they had more of a you know how we have these application keys for IAP purchasing or whatever? Like if you could specify a key and just reference that, then it could work across applications or whatever. But player prefs are specific to an application right now by default.
Okay. What I'm wondering is if there would be a way that I could make it so that you could save your game files to, say, like a flash drive or a USB hard drive.
Okay.
And then, like, take it to your PC and then take your same game files to the PC version.
Yeah, you can do that. I'll open up a terminal here. I think I had one, or a shell open. Basically, you have access to the SD card. Okay, so if I do a ADB, this device.
Can you use the leap motion inside the editor? Is that allowed? Ah, damn, it is. Oh god, I'm shooting. Stop shooting. I'm like scared to put my hand out.
Okay, so there's a SD card, and I think this was where the oh, USB drive, whatever.
How do I walk?
In Unix, there's a mount directory, and it should detect like external hard drives and USB devices and that kind of thing. And in which case, you could auto-detect them, and you could save your games to those and just make it part of your game. And in C#, it's all you have access to the standard I/O stuff. So you could open up a stream reader, a binary reader, writer, whatever, and write to the SD card.
Doesn't Unity mono stuff provide some sort of abstraction above that for dealing with it? The fact that it's Android to, in other words, get a particular directory or whatever. Some way of making that simpler. The reason I say is because Android, that location can sometimes change a bit.
Right.
So
well, that's why you have access to their system info, and you can just get the device name, and then for each device you just have a different directory you need to look.
Oh my god, I don't know how to control them.
Sounds like you're playing Aliens back in there. The squeal of exploding aliens in the background.
I'm playing the Leap Boot Camp demo.
Oh yeah, I had another idea regarding the controllers. I have no idea if this is even possible to implement. This is more of just like, I actually probably should just be putting this on the Ouya forums just to throw out ideas to the Ouya developers, but this is regarding the firmware on the controllers. But I was thinking it would be cool since you can have, well, I guess it sounds like you can have up to like 11 players or something.
Or
but like
this would, Bluetooth, but yeah.
This idea would work for up to 8 players, but what if after 4 players the lights that are lit up invert, and then like, so if it were so
Dude, I totally had that idea already. But yeah, I mean that would be smart actually, because then if it's more than 4 or whatever, because it's inverted. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if it was like unlit, lit, that would be player 5.
Right. No, it totally makes sense.
I have no idea. I've never messed with any of that kind of stuff, so I have no idea whether that would be easy or hard to implement.
So to actually do it though, I think you'd have to send your controller into them and have them flash the firmware, because it takes special hardware to flash it. But if it's in a future update, it's totally possible. I don't know how to handle that or whatever.
I mean,
Don't they have the firmware for the controllers downloaded from the Ouya? Would it do that, or would they not have?
I think you have to also flash the controller itself, though. I could be wrong, but I think...
The reason I mention is that Al Sutton, who works for them, came to the London meetup. He's London-based, and he said something about we're gonna change that, and this was relating to dead zones for the analog sticks. We're going to change that in the next build. Sorry, in the next firmware. I guess that could be done in software on the controller side, couldn't it? Okay, yep, scratch that. Never mind.
Yeah, so, some stuff's software, but I think the lights are firmware. So that's like at the hardware firmware level. So they have to flash it. But again, a forum post in the hardware section would totally fix that. They can respond to it there.
Well, maybe a Ouya 2 will have that.
It's magic to me. Although I wonder where the port is. If somebody's willing to take apart their controller and look in there. Because I'm not.
Has anybody like figured out the general battery life of an Ouya controller yet?
I haven't really needed to replace the batteries for mine.
Yeah, same. Mine still's going.
Okay, because like for a long time I was really worried about the fact that only AAA or only AA batteries were supported by it. But I guess if the battery life really is really good, then maybe it really isn't an issue.
Okay, so I think I found where the port is. So if you open the right side of the battery, the right battery side, there's these contacts in here. It's like a grid of 2x5, and I think they just touched something there to flash it. The letters are so small, I don't know what they say. That's gotta be it, right, Rupert?
I'm no hardware dude. Could be though. And none of my inputs are working.
Have any of you guys seen, I saw somebody, I don't know if this is real or not, but in a YouTube video, the video said Far Cry 3 on ultra settings on Ouya, but like, I think, and like everybody disliked the video because they thought he was blatantly lying. But what it actually sounded like was that he was streaming the game from his PC, but he like barely mentioned that in the description of the video.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious though. I think he was using Twitch TV or something.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, I guess that would make sense. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if the Ouya actually is like a good streamer, like desktop streamer, that would be another awesome thing, being able to play your PC games from the couch. Like, an Ouya costs less than wireless HDMI.
Right, well I think it's Android, right? It's Android multicasting, and that was part of Ice Cream Sandwich, right? So you have access to those functions? Maybe? And I think we need like some hardcore like examples for that kind of stuff. Because multicasting would be super cool.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need multicast, really, would you? What do they call it? Unicast, for just transmit straight from this thing to that thing would probably do. Unless you wanted to pump it over UPnP or something wacky. But
yeah, I think once the Ouya's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was reading something earlier. Isn't the Tegra Shield doing something? Not the Tegra Shield. Get the right one.
Yeah. NVIDIA Project Shield.
One of them. Get the right one. Steambox even. I think that one was going to be doing streaming games off your PC onto your Steambox, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the Steambox is going to work. It sounded like the Steambox was actually a PC. Like, it was basically just a small PC.
It's like taking a mini ATX case.
Right.
Except it's like really small. It's like, but anyways, going back to that whole like streaming thing, like I don't know like where that technology is right now, but it sounds like within the first few months of the Ouya being out, that hopefully will be like working well. But that would be something that I think would be really, really valuable to, make sure customers know about that and know that the Ouya can do those kind of cool things. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's not like enough. Like all the press going over Ouya right now is all mix and match, and there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of, I don't know. There's a lot of things that people don't know that make the system really awesome, and people, I don't know. I guess I'm hoping that it just catches on.
Yeah, totally. Did you guys all back the Ouya gaming source?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
What was that?
They have a weekly source. Here, let me pull it up.
Oh, is that on
Looking for
Kickstarter?
another thing. Yeah,
It was a Kickstarter for a website.
Oh, is that still up?
They probably still accept contributions and stuff. Most of the
Yeah.
Kickstarters do, right? So I pinged Brian Robbins, the guy who was organising it, with a couple of questions, and he got right back to me. So yeah, probably.
Okay, so these guys do it like a weekly video series on, and they, what do? They show off Ouya games and stuff. They have like 2 different video series that they do, and where's the Kickstarter? It was in the
Is that one game going to be on Ouya? It was on the left-hand side.
Oh,
Right
the
there.
dungeon thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Robot Loves Kitty. That thing's, I love that. It looks very pretty. I don't know how it'll play, but it looks very cute.
Right. I've seen that before, and it has such an awesome art style. I love that. Like all these games that I've been too lazy to play on my PC are now coming to Ouya, so now I have a good excuse to play them.
right.
And everything's free to play, so at the very least I can try it.
Yeah, the dinky Arduino. Tempted 3 days.
So before we dove into the Ouya gaming source thing, I was looking for this link, and basically it's a wireless Arduino little chip. And I was talking to these guys about what if this little fingernail size chip could do a multicast like a HDMI output, because it has these little shield things. And it's farther down. Okay, so it's modular shields that you just plug into the boards or whatever. So you can plug in a modular USB port, and then you have a USB port, and
See, I don't know much about this kind of stuff, but I can really appreciate what these guys are doing here.
right. So that's your processing thing. Now, I suppose you could just run a double battery. You plug in a USB thing, and on that you could plug in some USB hardware into the thing, and then you can have your computer control the logic. Actually, you could stack 2 of these, right? All right, now I already got a product idea here. So you have a plug-in, and you don't have to do battery. You can plug it into your wall socket too. So you have power, you have a couple of USBs, you have the CPU processor in there, and then you can have a Arduino Bluetooth connected thing that you could just say switch between inputs, like HDMI inputs to your little controller. So it wouldn't have to have the processing power to handle HDMI out, because those would be external devices, but you could use it as a input switcher to synchronize your things.
That'd be kind of cool.
I can appreciate that. Okay, because I've got more than 2 TVs, right? And they're right next to each other, and if I use the remote to turn one off, they both turn off because they both get the signal. But if I had the remote go through these guys, then it could be smarter about synchronizing them. So I wouldn't have to worry about adjusting the volume on one versus the other. You could have a smart remote, even though it's IR or whatever, or Bluetooth, it gets around the whole, like, which one am I talking to?
That would be amazing.
It's just like rewind to like 1980 when they had like an analog switcher. It's basically one of those, but for HDMI. And it only costs like $100.
These things kind of look like if you stacked up enough of them like Legos, you could build a supercomputer.
You could. I mean, basically, the chip, you put 64 of them on there, and oh, it's a 64 processor computer, right?
That would be really funny. That'd be a great product. Just like ship it with like Lego instructions and like you build something out of it. If they like build these things so that it actually like looks like a character when you're done or something.
Or a teddy bear, yeah. Kind of like AI. Have you seen AI with the teddy bear that follows the kid around?
Oh yeah, that creepy little AI teddy bear.
Everybody needs a teddy bear.
It's like this cute little looking teddy bear, but his voice was like, I don't remember what the main character's name was, but he was like, I don't know, he was like, hello, or like, I don't know.
Scissors down. I don't think that's a good idea. We shouldn't be doing this.
And then that like creepy little boy like sits at the bottom of the ocean for like 10,000 years or something creepy.
Everything was good until like the ending in that movie. It was just kind of like he attacked the other robot for no reason, and it was like downhill. That's it. They just killed this movie.
Oh yeah.
There can be only one David. Whack.
Oh, that was his name. That's right, David.
Yeah.
Hello, David. What a cute teddy bear. But just trying to think if I have any last minute questions. Oh yeah, were we still in the middle of that gaming source conversation?
Yeah. Kickstarter, gaming source. Okay.
Because I gotta go, but I want to see this first.
There we go.
Oh, actually, you know, I think I did see her. She like the spokesperson of the Ouya gaming source.
I think right after the Kickstarter started, she left to do another show, and then this is the replacement.
Oh, okay. I got them mixed up. That's the one I saw.
If you guys go inside the chat right now, you guys can see the new main menu that was just rendered out right now.
If we go where?
Are you talking about this one?
Yeah, that one.
Sweet.
Awesome. So this is going to be, I'm guessing, a horror first-person shooter?
No, actually, it's gonna be more futuristic to modern, but it's like it's got like a kind of like a twisted storyline to it.
Cool.
It makes more sense if you actually play it.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
It'll be Canadian in.
I wonder how hard it's going to be, like, to port to the Project Shield, like from Ouya, but
doesn't it run off Android?
Yeah. So I assume it wouldn't be too hard.
Tim, get on it.
It doesn't even work for NVIDIA.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we can't make a Unity plugin that talks to it.
This is true.
Yeah. But wouldn't you like not get paid for that since it's not Ouya?
Yeah, there's some logistical issues with the monies.
So you could, it would just be all your own free time.
Just contact NVIDIA and just be like, listen, I need one of these Project Shields.
It doesn't work that way. You never get a job like that. You make a thing, you're like, oh yeah, by the way, I have this thing, you know. Do you like it? If you don't, alright, call me.
But yeah. I'm a little bit excited for this, but I'm kind of worried that most people are going to use it to solely for streaming PC games in their home network, because it kind of sounds like the battery life is good, but not crazy good, like not good enough to run games off of it.
See, I think this is like second generation OnLive, right? OnLive failed because the latency was so bad, not because of the technology they have, but because of the latency. People's networks are bad between the internet and their houses.
I can't even get on live. Like, I tried, and it just won't let me. It's like, no, your internet
It detects the AOL internet, yeah.
It is my AOL internet.
So they're like, okay, redesign the problem. people like the idea of streaming, so we'll just make it inside the house.
Yeah, just stream it from like your Steam account.
All right, and
Kinda seems
you know
like
what, guys? I'm gonna release an update tonight with the new input stuff in there, so you guys don't have to like figure out what I was posting. So it'll just take a little bit, and I'll put that in there. Like,
Perfect.
Awesome.
I'll do it while I'm building this video, which will be like a couple
I gotta finish some programming assignments, and then I'm done for the night, and then I could just work on Relapse till like 12.
And I have a whole bunch of programming to do anyways, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this cool FPS thing, and you guys can use that.
for
We
performance
completely
testing.
disregarded networks today.
No, okay, so we talked about your login stuff a little bit,
Yeah.
but I mean, basically you just have to decide on the architecture.
Yeah.
Do you want a
Well,
database and think about
something
your
that I'll go
costs?
over.
Yeah.
I think I want to give TNet a try because it looks cool and it's based off Photon. So I mean, I want to give that a try.
Definitely good. Yeah.
And it seems really easy to code in. So I mean, I just got to figure out a way.
It's open, it's readable, it's flexible. It's got a couple of videos that are definitely cool. I haven't seen something this easy to hook up before, so.
Yeah, I need to figure it all out.
You watch 2 videos, and in 20 minutes you'll be an expert.
I think I might have a 3D modeler, and this might help the project speed up a lot quicker. Get some awesome stuff.
And here's the nice part. It supports like multi-platform networking stuff. That's the best
Yeah,
part
that's-
about using Unity, because it's
That's what I was
always-
worried about. Was I was like, oh, can it work multi-platform? But no, it does. So that's good. I'm just not sure. Like, I'm not sure if I should make the game cross-platform. Like, if you're playing on PC, you can play with Ouya people, or if you're on Ouya, you can play with PC. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet.
See, I've always thought about that from the user's perspective, because I would totally want to be like a PC guy, and I'd want to smoke every Xbox
The thing is,
first-person shooter dude. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm so cool. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead."
the
I
thing is with
remember-
that, you have to take it into account that like PC users will be so much better. So is it fair or is it unfair? And I think I made this system that's kind of right, and it's just kind of like, if you want to go into a cross-platform match, then you kind of go like Battlefield, where you click, show me cross-platform matches only.
There's got to be social aspects with it too, right? Like PC users aren't coordinated. They like everybody's for themselves. So
Yeah.
like, oh, you were killed by a PC player. You get that 5 times, and then you have a horde of console people like attack the one guy that's all coordinated, like ants.